Howdy football fiends, I am Mr. Pewter. Welcome to your Sports Outpost Saturday morning football show. We have a little over a dozen Week 3 games to update you with the biggest plays and moments. The main game for the stream is Wisconsin at Alabama, the Big Ten versus SEC in Tuscaloosa. Can the Badgers not give a sh, or will the Crimson Tide handle business at home? So sit back and relax here on the SPOP couch with Roadie for the third full weekend of college football. Like for real guys, it's the freaking weekend and we bout to have us some fun. Okay, that's it for me, and here is your host Road Dog.
All right. We are here for some morning football. Howdy and welcome to the trenches of my couch live here on YT. And thank you, Mr. Peter, for that amazing intro. And yes, we have an awesome show to update you here this again Saturday morning for the third full weekend of college football, baby. Alabama versus Wisconsin literally kicked off before we went live, or right around when we did. As here at your, again, Sports Outpost, we like covering all 136 collegiate programs as best we can. If you're joining us here on the couch for the first time, welcome to the trenches. And if you are a returning stud, welcome back to the trenches again of my couch. Our main game will be Alabama and Wisconsin, as we have 13 other games to update you on. Not as many as last week, but it will just be as much fun as it was because everything's coming again from the X machine, all the highlights and whatnot, and some fun moments. Kickoff again is already underway. Wisconsin got the ball at the moment. I have to update a bunch of screens as we are again live. Last night's scores, if you missed it, this is what it was. We missed two games, unfortunately. New Mexico outclassing UCLA. We'll see if Deshaun Foster still has his job in the next couple of weeks, unfortunately, and that's not a thing I like to say. Kansas State also disappointed us on the road there in Tucson. Some of our picks for this upcoming weekend, if you missed our show or our clips here on YT, this is who we're picking there in the morning. Here is the early afternoon. Late afternoon, I believe, or that might have been noon. This might be early afternoon, to be quite honest with you. Late afternoon there we go. Nightcap, the top 25 and who they are all playing. Yeah, we got a lot of helmets to cover here. This is our top 25 going into week 3, as I'm kind of going into this a little slow, but again, we'll update all the scores as we are continuing to go live here. We have 18 teams that have a bye week. These are the 18, just to let you know, if you missed out on any of that information. And our pick'ems that we like to do with other content creators here on YT, over on Rumble and X. These are the games that we are picking. We actually have the Wisconsin-Alabama game, which is our main game. No one went with the Badgers, unfortunately. But yeah, we like to do that over there, as this thing's starting to pick up some steam. To be quite honest with you. And then there is the standings. Here is going to be one of our main screens for the stream. I will start to update these as games are already kicked off again, and we'll update you there on the bottom as well. I'm going to put the win probability, which should be, there it is, available. That's what I was looking for. Boom, win probability there on who we think is going to be winning this game in Tuscaloosa. And then on top of that, I have already Alabama walking into the stadium earlier this morning. So as that's all going down, I'm going to try and update some screens, which I think I have to do. No, we'll do it this way. Let's go there. Here we go. Another good morning to all of you, at least here from the West Coast. Stayed up real late to watch that New Mexico demolition job in the Rose Bowl. Not a good day for UCLA fans whatsoever. I gotta upload. Just double checking to see what games are already going. No scores so far. That is kind of surprising. Last week when we started the stream, there was points off the bat. So no one's hitting a home run here. Oh wait, no, Michigan already up 7-0. We'll get that down on the bottom, updated for you. We'll have it on the main screen here as well. And getting the rest of these screens going for us here in a few moments. Alabama has gotten the ball because it was a nice 3-and-out for their defense. Ooh, Kent State is up. Ooh, that is interesting. Buffalo is favored by quite a few points. As we have some Mac Nation going on. Okay, there's quite a few more scoring than I thought initially since we started. I think the only game that hasn't kicked off, South Alabama, Auburn, UL Lafayette, Missouri. That's not until the next top hour or close to it. Oh my word as well. Wow. A lot of points so far. We'll get the touchdowns coming in here in a few moments. As here's already the first updated score of today. As I got to... Why am I not finding that? There it is. Boom, boom. There we go. Let me do the bottom now, and then I'm going to start to look for some highlights as everything is coming in. We will be updating the bottom screen first, most likely, if there's a score update or anything like that. Just to let you know, that's usually the screen we go to, and then we do kind of the big screen right after we get a bunch of scores come in. As we're going to try to keep those columns as live as we can. It's a one-man wrecking crew today. Okay, there we go. I think I got all of them updated there on the bottom for you. Which means we got to go look for some touchdowns. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns to look for. Let's get after it, as it's another morning here on the channel. Let's go find Michigan's first touchdown against Central Michigan. How about that? See if that shows its face. Open. Ooh, it's a pretty one. I can tell you that. It is a pretty touchdown. Very Michigan style, if you know what I mean. It is former Alabama running back Justice Haynes punching it in to allow Michigan to go up 7-0 early on against the Chippewas. Like I said, it was a beautiful touchdown. Very Michigan. They're on the goal line. Shotgun formation. Easy money for the Wolverines. 7-0 there. That's our first touchdown of the day. Let's keep searching. As we'll keep that one on the screen for now. We got, what, Oklahoma? Go find some Oklahoma action. I don't have the touchdown, but I have the 2-point conversion, which is a trick play. So, second play off the bat for the stream will be a 2-point conversion. Was not expecting that. Let's go. So, here is that. Ugly looking trick play because it didn't look like it was completely clean, but the 2 points is on the board. And I believe it's the place kicker or the placeholder that catches it as he shifts over down to the line. We have unbalanced formation there, and it's 8-0 there in Philly for the Sooners. Isn't that fun? Memphis. Let's go find Memphis. As they're up 7-0 against Troy. I do have an angle. It's not the best because it's not a broadcast angle. But we have Memphis's touchdown from the back of the end zone there against the Trojans in Alabama. That game is 7-0 Tigers. Alabama just got a big turnover, but it looks like they're not going to be doing anything with that. It's still 0-0. They're at Bryant-Denny on Saban Field. We have another touchdown technically. Let's go find Kent State. How about that? Kent State. You need some early points against Buffalo. They had a bad outing against Texas Tech. The Flashes got flashed there in Lubbock. And it looks like that's not going to be showing its face. Nothing there. Nope. Do we have any fresh points? Oh, we do. Virginia has added to their lead. That is now 14-0 already against Will and Mary. A little bit of a disappointing week for the Cavaliers in week 2. I don't want to say a comfortable lead, but quite a few against the Wolfpack, who also did it again against Wake Forest earlier on Thursday. Baylor has already scored on Samford, as we have some FCS action. And then Maryland just got their first touchdown against Towson. Nebraska also gets their first touchdown against Houston Christian. I cannot find where... Oh, did I not put Nebraska on this? Okay. So we have more touchdowns to look for, but they are not showing their face at the moment. I'm still looking. Michigan has scored again. Let's go find that. And then I'm going to update the big screen for us there, but on the bottom, it will be updated. Bryce Underwood to Samaj Morgan picked up a nick against Oklahoma in Norman there last week. This week, Underwood finds his go-to receiver there to make that 14-7. Nice pocket. Gets it into the sweet spot there. Touchdown Wolverines. I really like Michigan in pass blocking. I think the next couple seasons, as we see Underwood develop, he's going to be well protected. Just going to depend on the opponent and how good their pass rush is. Ooh, from our homies, Updog Sports Talk. I uploaded this. The Flash's first touchdown is a reverse. And yes, Updog Sports. It is a strong start for Kent State there. Check out their podcast, by the way. So 7-0 in Ohio. We are going to update the screens. And Jeremy Bernard looks like he has scored for Alabama. And we are going to have maybe our first set of points. So it is a touchdown. We have our first set of points. Six nothing Alabama at the moment. Who else are we updating here? Extra point is good. Took a couple drives there for the Crimson Tide. I think that was a jet sweep. Not too sure. I've been looking up and down the screens. Doesn't matter. Alabama's up 7-0. I'm just updating the big screen here that I'm going to have up in a few moments. Just making sure I have all of the right scores. Ooh, it looks like Georgia Tech got themselves 3 points already at home against Clemson, who's probably going to struggle in that one. Gotta be honest. So here is the updated scores. Michigan up 14-0. Nebraska 10-0 over Houston Christian. Same for Maryland on top of Tulsa. Virginia got that second touchdown already against Will and Mary. And then Georgia Tech gets their first 3. Ooh, I forgot to add Baylor. Second touchdown against Stanford. A lot of action. I am looking for touchdowns. Trust me. Trust me here. A win probability, 91%. That is now jumped up. As this one's going to be mostly Alabama like it was last season. Which we did do a watch along, but that was over on a different platform. We're doing it for our morning show. How about that? So those are the updated scores. I'm going to go look for some of those big plays. Before that first field goal, it looks like Georgia Tech on a previous drive went for it. As they got stalled out in the red zone. Haynes King taking a hit there in the lower body. That's where his injury is, technically. But still, with that drive ending on downs, getting 3 points, Clemson still struggling against Georgia Tech and moving the ball. I'm seeing that they have a third down on their own 25, and it's not looking like they're going to be scoring anytime soon. Oregon has scored. Let's go find that. Love me some Ducks. Oh, it looks like the first highlight from the Oregon Northwestern game is going to be an interception. We'll show you that, and then once the touchdown comes in, we'll get you up to date on there. It's now 7-0. I will update that score on the main screen here in a little bit, but on the bottom, It will be live. Oklahoma got a field goal, making it now 11-0 against Temple. That one should end up being, unfortunately, a one-sided affair. Okay, so we have Klubnik setting up that field goal for the first 3 points there in Atlanta with a fumble, and another rough beginning to a game for Clemson. We'll see how they adjust and get a little bit better, hopefully, in this game to maybe pull it out. Because so far, it's not looking good. We have that first touchdown for our main game that put the 7 on the board there. Jeremiah Bernard lining up in the backfield. The best offensive player Alabama has at the moment. I'm going to update the main screen. I have all of the updated scores in front of us. Maryland and Nebraska are like literally mirroring each other at the moment. It's both 17-0. One of those teams scores, another repeats. So we have the main screen now updated. Gonna do the bottom. I think so far we've had at least a handful of touchdowns, some defensive plays, a trick play from Oklahoma to get a 2-point conversion. Not too bad of a start for another Saturday morning. I'm looking for that Oregon touchdown right now. Here we go. Yeah, I got it. Ooh, it's from Max Torres. It's an on-3 contributor, if I'm not mistaken. Covers a lot of Oregon football. Jaden Lamar. Or Limar. I'm not too sure how you pronounce that last name. Regardless, Ducks go up 7-0 on the road against the Wildcats. The defense set up that touchdown drive with that interception. Oh, I don't have it actually on the screen. There we go. Now you know what I'm looking at. So we have 12 games, or maybe, is it 12? So I think we have 14 total. We're still waiting for 2 games to kick off. We have an interception from our main game. It's another defensive one. Not a touchdown, but an INT. We brought that up a little while ago. The highlight has finally gotten in front of us. Oh, and then the second quarter for the main game has gotten underway. Gotta change that. We have a touchdown to show you out of Nebraska. Dan Key. I think a transfer from Kentucky. That scoring play made it 17-0. Looking for some more touchdowns, as it looks like the scoring is kind of stopped. Virginia just got themselves another one against Will and Mary. That is now 21-0. Let's go find a Virginia touchdown because we haven't seen a highlight from that game or Baylor. So let's see what we get. It looks like we found one, and it's a nice reverse. A lot of reverses. I think we've seen at least two, maybe previously. I know one for sure, the Kent State one. But here against Will and Mary, this is the first touchdown there in Charlottesville. If I'm not mistaken, that's where Virginia is at. The university. I know the state, obviously. And let's find one for Baylor. We haven't seen any action there in Waco. So let's see what the Bears are up to. Ooh. Not the prettiest trick play, but a trick play nonetheless. Sanford went 80 yards on this drive as it's a double pass. What a duck. But the duck lands, and that made it 14-7. Sanford not getting shut out. What other game have we not seen? Maryland, I believe, would be the last game that is kicked off where we have not seen a single highlight from. So let's go find that. Ooh, we have another one here in Tuscaloosa. Jeremy Bernard makes it 13-0. Is not looking good for the Badgers here on the road. We'll see if Wisconsin even scores because the offense has not looked good. I know they have a backup quarterback situation at the moment. The extra point go through? Did it even show that? Okay, it did. Here we go. We have our first Maryland highlight to show you. Also in the red zone. Malik Washington. I believe the true freshman for the Terps. That made it 16-0. It stands still at 17 zip over Towson. Let us update the main screen. Michigan has scored again, making it 21-0 over the Chippewas. Technically, Will and Mary has scored. It's 21-7 between them and the Cavaliers. And Georgia Tech has also gotten their first touchdown. We're seeing some more points there in Atlanta, and it's not looking good for Clemson. Here's the main screen. For the updated scores, we're going to do the bottom. South Alabama versus Auburn. That game has finally kicked off. So we have only one more game here in our early kickoff slots to get underway. That is New Hampshire at Ball State. Ooh, Oklahoma has gotten another touchdown, so I gotta update it already. I'm gonna say, oh look, here's the latest scores, guys. It is not. That's a lie. What's not a lie now is gonna be the main screen. Here we go. I'm gonna look for that Georgia Tech touchdown. That's the first one on the list to show you. Oh, and it looks like the Yellow Jackets are playing perfect, like I said in our preview of what they needed to do. I don't have the best angle for the touchdown or quality. One will show its face eventually. I'll still have this up on the screen. This is what made it 10-0 there in Atlanta. Jamal Haynes is, I believe, who is the scorer there. The caption on the post talking about those sideline interviews that the coaches now do mid-game. Dabo Swinney was talking about preventing Georgia Tech from scoring. Well, the Yellow Jackets did it as he was doing that. Let's go find Michigan. And we have it for you guys. This is what made it 21-0. Bryce Underwood takes it himself, sees the lane for that run read. Maybe gets touched there at the end by a Chippewa defender. 21-0 Wolverines. Let's go find Oklahoma, and there's some other scoring going on. I believe in Nebraska. The Terps and Cornhuskers, identical. Literally one scores, the other repeats. Those games looking like they're going to be 24-0. I'm going to update the bottom screen so we have the updated scores real quick, and then I'm going to go look for those highlights, and then we'll do the main screen right after that. Okay, Troy has scored. Since I've been looking at the live score screen. Let me go find. What did I say? Nebraska? No, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. I was thinking red. Should have went maroon. We got it. We got the true freshman, Blaylock, punching it in the red zone here. This made it 18-0 in Philly. Let's do the main screen real quick. Some of those score lines have now gone the extra point through. Michigan scores again immediately. Wow, wait, was that an interception? That is going to be a very ugly scoreline by the end of it in Ann Arbor. Ooh, Troy almost got a safety, ends up getting a touchdown. Can't wait to find that highlight. Still waiting for the extra point to go through to make it 7-7. There it goes. Extra point is good after the fumble in the end zone. So these are the current scores. Oregon just got a field goal. We just saw Oklahoma get that next touchdown. Another one for Virginia and Michigan. And then Troy adds to the scoreboard there to tie it up 7-7 against Memphis. Michigan so far today has been pretty good in uploading their highlights. So let's go to them first. We've seen Morgan, Justice Haynes, Bryce Underwood score. Who made it 24-0? Okay. I don't think we're going to get that immediately. Troy. Let's go look for Troy. That was a fumble. Oh, it was a scoop and score. I don't have the game on my screen, so wouldn't have known that. I just assumed it was in the back of the end zone, but it's a scoop and score. So we have our first defensive touchdown this morning. Going back and looking for that fourth Michigan touchdown, and it still hasn't got posted yet. Ooh. Someone just posted 9 total yards for Central Michigan so far in Ann Arbor. Yeah, that is going to be an ugly game. Here we go. We got Michigan scoring another one. Very similar to what Bryce Underwood did in terms of where the running lane was. And we'll see Sprague there in the end zone celebrate with Marsh. That made it 28-0. We have a highlight out of our main game. We didn't get the other touchdown from Jeremy Bernard, but we have a sack from Rushaw. Let's see if I can get that other touchdown from Bernard. We do have it. A little late to it, but it's fine. We're still going to show it on the stream. Ty Simpson to Jeremy Bernard, the go-to guy for this Alabama offense. Kind of crazy how he was part of that crazy wide receiver core over at UW with McMillan, Odunze, and Polk. And then even the tight end Westover. I think most of those guys are on NFL rosters at the moment. We have a better angle of that, or less better quality for Georgia Tech's touchdown against Clemson. I was talking about how Dabo Swinney was having one of those new terrible ideas of doing a interview on the sideline. I just hate when they do things like this. And unfortunately, what he was talking about goes against what he was saying, preventing a touchdown. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Yellow Jackets looking really good at home. And that would be their first win over the Tigers since, I believe, 2014, if I'm not mistaken. In and around that time. The last win for Georgia Tech over Clemson. But we might be also speaking too soon. Last week, we had SMU versus Baylor. And then the Ponies haven't beaten Waco Bears since 1986. And that streak continued, even though they looked like they were going to win. Another extra point for the Yellow Jackets. They're up by now. More comfortable 2-possession lead. 13-zip. Clemson's offense just looking terrible. Looks like their running game probably isn't going either. That was one big thing I was talking about going into that game. They got to be able to run the ball, take some pressure off of Klubnik, be able to air it out, opens up the throwing game, but that seems to not be happening. And they're going to be losing again, it looks like, if things are not getting better. Auburn has scored their first touchdown against South Alabama. It is now 7-0. And then our final game. Wait, the UL Lafayette kickoff earlier than expected? Okay, so that kickoff might have got pushed up since I made the schedule here. I don't have the helmets on the screen, but we will have it on the bottom at least, as Missouri versus the Raging Cajun has gotten underway as well. Oklahoma scores again, 25-0 there in Philly. Okay, I'm going to go look for Auburn's first touchdown because we technically have not gotten a highlight from there. Perfect. Just got posted 3 minutes ago. Looks like Jackson Arnold to Cam Coleman. Pretty nice catch. We're going to update the main screen with the scores. So give us a few moments to do that, because there has been quite a few touchdowns. Wow. Penn State has scored again. That is now 14, looking like after the extra point, nothing against Buffalo. Things might be turning around for the Flashes. I think I found out why Kent State has scored again. We have a fumble. Alabama looking like they're going to score again right before halftime. Got less than 2 minutes against Wisconsin here. Take this down real quick. There's a score update. Oh, South Alabama got themselves a field goal, actually. And Ty Simpson, 13-yard pass to Isaiah Horton, the Miami transfer. 20-0 Alabama at the moment. This game looking like the same from the encounter last season in Madison. Badgers are not jumping around. We'll see if Wisconsin can make some adjustments there, because they're going to need it. Less than a minute for this game here in Tuscaloosa to go into halftime. Gonna update the main screen again, as Nebraska and Maryland are racing each other, but on different fields in terms of scoring. Oh wow. Virginia is just running up the score now. Clemson is in the red zone. I think that's for the first time. They might have gotten their running game going just before halftime there in Atlanta. Let's see if they end up with some points. Regardless, here are the updates. Baylor starting to pile it on. Samford, 31-0, both for Maryland and Nebraska over their FCS opponents. Kent State up 14-0. Auburn versus South Alabama, 7-3. Maybe the Jags make it a fight. And actually Missouri, which is not on our screen, 7-0 over the Raging Cajun. Gonna go look for that touchdown. Yeah, no touchdown update there in Colombia. Michigan State has gotten their first set of points. It is now 28-3. They're not going to get shut out. Will and Mary. No, they already had that 7 points. Sorry. Buffalo got their first set of points before halftime. 14 looking like 7. Waiting on that extra point to be good. Clemson is in the red zone. This game is now at halftime, our main one between Alabama and Wisconsin. We'll be taking our halftime break here in a few moments. I'm just going to get some last second updates before we take our break. We have the touchdown that made it 21-0 for our main game here. This might be our final highlight. Oh, actually, we got another one. One out of Kent State. That'll be the final highlight. Oh, we're gonna have a few before we go to our halftime break. So that was Horton from Simpson. Here we have one for the Flashes. This put them up 14-0. But the score line right now is 14-7. And then we will have one more to mention. Memphis, ooh, with a nice grab, one-hander, back corner of the end zone. Tigers are now up 14-7. They're on the road. What the heck? We'll show one more out from Nebraska. That was not what I was supposed to put up. There we go. Emmett Johnson getting it over the goal line. That made it 24-0. That score line is 31-0 at the moment. And And that'll be our final highlight. We're going to take our halftime break here. Hopefully you guys have been locked in like we have. Mr. Peter, take us to halftime.
You got it, Roadie. Alright, you football fiends, we are going to take our halftime break. Roadie will return just before the teams retake the field with some notes of the first half. Okay, we'll see you guys in a bit.
Okay, we are back. Oh wow, this is interesting. We come back. Alabama scores immediately to open up the second half, but just like that, we have a kickoff return for the Badgers. They will not be shut out here in Tuscaloosa. The back and forth to start off the second half. We'll get both of those on the screen here in a little bit. As we have quite a few highlights already queued up that I had just from halftime. Let's check out those before I show anything else. Let's look at this field goal, 42 yards out. Sampington, that made it 10-0. Oregon before halftime there against Northwestern. And we have a touchdown pass to Kenyon Shadiq. Dante Moore off to a great start here in 2025. This play I got to reopen as it looks like it's not going off for some reason. Let me actually go to their page and maybe it plays. This was supposed to be the first touchdown and it's still having issues. We'll look at the second touchdown because that one looks like it's loading. Or not. Missouri. I don't know what's going on over there. A 9-yard run for Opipula, and then another red zone touchdown from Ahmed Hardy. We'll come back to that. We have a interception for Auburn. And those are the ones I found during the halftime break. Gonna find some more. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm going to do the main screen as I look for some touchdowns. There has been some scoring going on for a couple other SEC programs. So that's the updated score lines at the moment. Here we go. We have the Ryan Williams one to open up the second half. Not that I haven't bothered to show the win probability, but yeah, it's not looking good there for Wisconsin. 99 still percent for Alabama. That has kind of held since the beginning and towards the end of the first half. We have a Jackson Arnold touchdown. Looking for some more touchdowns early for the opening third quarters for some of these other games. I at least have the second one though from Auburn as I'm looking. Jackson Arnold making a play here in the red zone. We just saw the third touchdown. Now here's the second. Okay. Nothing is showing its face. I gotta go. Looks like I gotta go actually look for it. Nothing's looking easy here in the morning. Alabama has scored again. Wow. That was a nice run there from Ryan Williams after the catch. Here is the kickoff return for the Badgers, as they don't go away getting shut out. I don't know if they're putting up a fight, but at least on special teams they are. I don't know what's going on with Missouri social media, but maybe it's the video format they're uploading. They're like the only team so far this morning where I can't get like the actual play from the video to go off. Clemson is about to score. They are in the red zone. We have the beautiful ankle breaker from Ryan Williams just moments ago to make it 35-7 for our main game. That's some nasty stuff. Ooh. Turnover in the red zone for Clemson. Kate Klubnik. Again, not off to a great 2025 start. He's looking real ugly right now. But still early in the second half. And trying to get back into it. They were about to maybe take the lead. Bring it down to just 3 points there. But they mess up that drive and don't capitalize on gaining some points. We're going to update the main big screen of scores here in a few moments. We have some updates. So let me do that. Okay, here we go. There is the score updates. Remember, the Missouri game is in the bottom. We don't have it on the screen for the big scoreboard. I'm now looking for those touchdowns. Michigan just scored. They have been pretty active in posting what they're doing on the field. Oh, we might have to wait a little bit longer. Oh, but Buffalo did get their first touchdown against Kent State. It is a slow start for them against the Flashes. Apparently that came at the end of the second half. I might have misread that. They just probably got the extra field goal. But regardless, here's Buffalo's touchdown to get within striking distance of Kent State there. Here is Michigan scoring once again in the big house. Marshall gets the call. And that was the one we were looking for. I'm going to go look for that interception in the red zone for Clemson. Here we go. Big defensive play for the Yellow Jackets. Oh, wait. Rip. I haven't had that on the screen, apparently. Let's go back for the Buffalo touchdown. I'll let that go for a couple of times. We'll have a few highlights here in a few moments. Besides the ones that we have queued up. Here's Michigan. Making it 42-3. And then we have the interception for the Yellow Jackets. See a baby there at the end. That's hilarious. I think we can get this Missouri clip off. Guess not. I gotta do this instead. Robert gets the third touchdown there. And then we have another one for Oregon. Makes it 23-0 against Northwestern. Dale Jr. taking it to the house. Since we don't have any fresh highlights, we're going to update the big screen. And then we're going to do the bottom right after that. Oh, Clemson has scored. That must have been a big play. We're about to find out what happened there in Atlanta. As the Tigers take their first lead there against the Yellow Jackets, and also taking their first lead. Buffalo scores again. And the last game in our early kickoff time slot has gotten underway between New Hampshire and Ball State. So here are your score updates. Oregon scoring. They still are pitching a shutout there. Clemson just had a big play. We're going to find out what that was all about. I'm trying to think what was the other one. Oh, Buffalo takes also the lead for the first time in their game against Kent State. Auburn adds to their lead, and then again the last game to kick off, New Hampshire versus Ball State. The FCS team is up early. We don't have the touchdown yet from Clemson, but I'm going to find it. But we do have the recent interception for the game here again in Tuscaloosa. Ooh, massive play. Bryant Westco Jr. on the run. Hits the Jets. Gives Clemson their first lead. Let's watch Westco Jr. hit the Jets. Nebraska keeps on scoring. So now I got to do the bottom scores, which I have not updated. Okay, let's get the main board updated as well. Ooh. Michigan scores once again. And Clemson already has the ball back after that big touchdown to Brian Wesco Jr. Okay, the extra point is good, so now we can show you guys this screen. What do we have updated? Well, Michigan scores once again. Clemson might be adding some points to their lead here pretty soon. Nebraska 45-0 on top of Houston Christian. Virginia again adds to their lead 52-7. And the last game here, the kickoff that we're going to be talking about, New Hampshire versus Ball State. Ball State tying it back up and getting their first set of points against, again, New Hampshire. Let's go find some of those touchdowns. So the last play for the third quarter has happened for the game, which is our main one we are covering. 35-7 as the Badgers and Crimson Tide head into the fourth quarter. We do have a highlight to show you. Another one from Auburn, punching it in. We have Jeremiah Cobb adding to their lead against South Alabama. We have another interception for Oregon. I think it's a linebacker Mixon. He makes it 2 in a row for interceptions. He had one last week against Oklahoma State at home. He gets another here against Northwestern. TJ Lateef gets his first touchdown as a Nebraska quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, I watched him live last year. I know he's out of Southern California, but I'm forgetting the actual high school that he comes out of. Orange Lutheran, that's right. Austin Pettis, if you remember that wide receiver for Boise State. Aaron Corp Another Olu product. I'm kind of aging myself with those references of old players that come out of the same high school recently. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Regardless, though, he gets his first touchdown as a Cornhusker. Here's another big play from another true freshman. It is Bryce Underwood. Adds to Michigan's lead to make it 49-3 there. Oof. Another touchdown from a third different Oregon running back. Davison. Oregon is so deep in depth in so many positions, and running back is definitely one of them. As they add on to that lead in that game against Northwestern there. And they capitalize on that turnover as well. Alabama's about to add to their lead. They're in the red zone. It's 3rd and goal, though, so they might settle for a field goal. This might be the last drive for the first team offense. Ooh, we have a 100+ yard pick six for you. Maryland on Towson here. Buffalo continues to add to their lead. That's 24-14 in their comeback against the Kent State Flashes. And New Hampshire is putting up a fight against Ball State. That might be the FCS upset of the week. 14-7, the away team winning there. So the bottom is updated. We got to do the top. Big screen. Let's do that here. This game, Alabama adds to their lead. Forgot to update that. It's 38-7. This one's basically over, which is all right. We were kind of expecting that, but we still wanted to cover it because it's Alabama. You want to see how this team's going to be progressing after the loss in Tallahassee. And here are the score updates on the big screen. Oregon, who we saw that last touchdown getting punched in after the interception. Alabama gets a field goal, makes it 38-7. Michigan, I think, is about to score again, so this might not be just 49-3, might be in the 50s. Nebraska 45-0, 41-0 so far against Towson. Actually, no, I think I need to update that one real quick because I think I missed that. Thought Towson scored. Yeah, they did. But we did see the pick six that made it 41-0. There we go. There it is. Some of the other score lines have been the same lately. Virginia versus Will and Mary. And then Baylor versus Sanford. Memphis versus Troy is also holding at 21-7. And then the last one to kind of update. I think we have actually one more. New Hampshire, we just talked about, for 14-7. And then Buffalo extends their lead to 2 possessions, 24-14. Ooh. You don't like to see this, but things like it happened in the game of football. The ref getting caught up in that tackle. Actually threw a flag on that play as well. A lot of action there in just one play. We have that 33-yard field goal for the main game to make it 38-7. This is interesting. I just found out that Trinidad Chablis is expected to start for Ole Miss against Arkansas today. That means the Rebels are going to have a game for sure. Not that he's a totally different quarterback from Austin Simmons, but not so reliable in throwing the ball. When he came in for Simmons last week against Kentucky, I believe he didn't even have a passing attempt. This is kind of breaking news. I guess the Austin Simmons was a game time decision there for Lane Kiffin, which, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I've had my share of ankle injuries where I sat out for the first half and had to come back in. after the team was struggling. So that makes a lot of sense of why Austin Simmons isn't going to be playing. Depending on the grade of the injury on the ankle there, sometimes it just is not feasible to be coming back so soon. And hopefully he'll be 100% going into next week. But at least we have some news and highlights. We have Buffalo's touchdown here to show you. L.J. Henderson. As the Bulls have 24 unanswered there. For our main game, we have seen quite a few sacks. Here's another one. O'Neal gonna be needing a few ice packs there. We didn't see this one from Buffalo. This is what put them up 17-14 earlier in that game. As we are coming in with a lot of highlights here. Michigan gets an interception against the Chippewas. We're going to update the big board here in a few moments. There's a couple scores that have happened. Looks like Nebraska and their second team defense gave up a touchdown. So there are the big board score updates. So I updated the bottom, and I'm gonna have to update the big screen again. Who scored? Who scored? It was Baylor. It looks like, but that might have been called back. It looks like. I guess it did. Let me refresh this other screen. Yeah, it looks like I got called back. Still 35-7. Nebraska just scored again. It's now 52-7 against Houston Christian. Look for some more highlights. As now a few of these games are going to be ramping up. I think we'll end the stream probably right after the Alabama Wisconsin kind of one-sided affair ends. We'll be live later today over on Rumble for Notre Dame hosting Texas A&M. You don't need to make an account. We'll be on the front page if you want to come hang out. As we're always on the front page over there on that platform. Not seeing anything new. Look, oh, here we go. We got Kent State going 50 yards to make that one 24-21. They're still down by 3, but they're making it a fight against Buffalo. What a bounce back week for the Flashers. Even if they lose there, they got absolutely obliterated by Texas Tech last week. Now, we do have a turnover to show, unfortunately, for you Duck fans out there. Dante Moore making a mistake on the road. Trying to get to the true freshman, Decorian Moore. What the heck? Let's show another one for Nebraska. As they're blowing out Houston Christian. It's been a crazy back and forth between Clemson and Georgia Tech at the moment. A little surprising. Neither team kind of doing anything much in second half. I know Clemson needed to score again, which they did to begin that third quarter, but both defenses have made adjustments to stop either team from putting more points on the board. But Georgia Tech just had a big play to pit them about 5 yards out of the red zone. I think on actually 8. Did I not show the interception there? Well, here's that touchdown. We'll let that go for a little bit. I'm going to update some scores on the bottom. Updating the bottom screen. The scrolling scores. South Alabama not going away against Auburn. Let's do the big screen. It is second and goal for Georgia Tech. They are looking to retake the lead. Still a lot of time there in the fourth quarter between them and Clemson. Badgers score. But I believe Alabama has a lot of second team players out there on the field. That field goal is good. I'm going to update this screen. There we go. (38-14). The Georgia Tech game versus Clemson's about to update here in a few moments, it looks like. Oh, yep. Georgia Tech scores the touchdown, goes for 2. Did an offensive lineman throw that 2-point conversion? Oh, that is going to be a fun play to look at. We have less than 5.5 minutes between Wisconsin and Alabama. I'm trying to look for the Georgia Tech touchdown. It looks like I'm not going to find it. So I'm going to update the big screen so that we're updated there. Ooh, Northwestern got their first touchdown against Oregon. They're not going to get shut out. But the Ducks are still averaging a pretty solid defensive average on opponents' points scored. That's probably under 10, if I'm not mistaken, if you do the average from the last 3 weeks. Especially if that scoreline holds. All right, that is updated. Go find the Georgia Tech 1-yard touchdown from Haynes King. Oh, I don't have that. Oh, wait, no, I do? I do. We have multiple plays for that Georgia Tech game. First one is the actual touchdown. The second one will be the 2-point conversion. So that's the touchdown. Here's the 2-point conversion to make it 21-14. A reverse pass there. Here is some scoring from Northwestern, their first set of points. Michigan cannot stop scoring rushing touchdowns. That is 8 for today. Their second team offense is in. We got the 2-minute timeout here at Bryant-Denning Stadium on Saban Field. I haven't seen a new highlight yet. There has been some developments in scoring, though. We'll get the big board ready in a few moments. I'm going to get the bottom screen going. As the second slate of games in that time slot, which is either noon if you're on the West Coast, early afternoon if you're on the East Coast, is about to begin. Clemson is driving. They're on the Yellow Jacket 29-yard line. So they are looking to at least tie it up there. 6:45 left on the clock. Okay. We got that going. We are going to do now the big screen real quick. I'm going to go find a highlight for New Hampshire versus Ball State. Hopefully there's something there. That'll be all of the games in the morning slate that we have shown here on the stream. At least one play. There is the updates on the big screen. I don't think I'm gonna have a broadcast one because I don't think this game has any kind of coverage like that. Oop. There we go. This game has wrapped up here in Tuscaloosa. 38-14 is the final score. We're gonna be closing it out here pretty soon. But an awesome morning of some decent football. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it here from the channel. Don't forget, we are going to be going live later today on Rumble, covering Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Next weekend, we will be doing our morning show, and the main game for that one will be Texas Tech at Utah in Salt Lake City. As here at your Sports Outpost, we like covering all 136 FBS programs as best we can. Thank you for tuning in, and let you know you don't need to subscribe. Just come in and hang out on the couch any weekend here for the rest of the college football season. We will be having you locked in. Mr. Peter, take us out.
You got it, Roadie. Alright, that's it, you football fiends from your Sports Outpost. Don't forget to check out our shows and clips you might have missed here on the main channel or on the SPOP Clips channel. Just have to type those 4 letters. We also have links below for that and for our homies if you are interested in others that make content in the sports world. Okay, hope to see you again and stay wrecked.